Just a question really, if any of you were to hire one of us or a creative team, what is it you're looking for within that creative team? What would make them stand out from the other creative teams?
I'll jump into that. I think being a good all-rounder, really. So many students that I've had come and work with me within the NHS, and they're fantastic at some things, but then I guess they lack some basic skills like being able to pick up the phone to people. So I guess practicing being in that public arena and being able to talk about a piece of work, and quite a lot of transferable skills, really.
Yeah. Passion.
Yeah.
Have to be really switched on. You won't survive anyway. You just get trodden on if you start to sort of sit back, not become lazy, but just become complacent. You've constantly got to, I think we were talking about this before, you've got to be bettering yourself, you've got to be testing yourself, pushing yourself. If that comes across in you and your work, that will come across to any one of us and any potential employer.
It's that positive attitude though, it goes really far. Like I've sort of had placement teams come in when I was at sort of proximity, and you sort of after 5 seconds you know how they're going to be in terms of their attitude. You have the real positive people where you'll go, I don't really like what you've got there, and they go, oh, okay, great, well, what is it about it? They've got that immediate, and then you've got the real negative people who are just like, okay, or no, what you don't get is, and it's the positive people always come to the top, because you're like, they may not be strong here, they may not be strong there, but they're so switched on to wanting to do that. As soon as you identify a weak spot in them, they're like, okay, great, how can I improve that? And those teams always stand out. And in fact, sometimes they're so kind of intimidating, the fact that you're like, we've got to get them in, because if they go somewhere else, someone else is going to get them. We must get them in straight away. And so that's what I mean. It's just that eagerness and positiveness to sort of take anything on board and sort of be really excited about it. Yeah, great, okay, you've told me everything's rubbish. That's great, because it gives me another chance to do something new to show you. And it's just like, oh, these people, why are they so happy? They must have something about them.
It's also the ability to get up if you've made a mistake, if you've fallen down. If you make a mistake, don't stay down, get up, learn from it and move on. And don't be precious about it either. More often than not, you're going to put your work on the table and it's going to get battered by a creative at some point in your career, and you should actually hope for that to a certain extent, because it will, you can take it on board. Some people are doing it to be mean, but at the other time there is critique in there, that there's a wealth of knowledge behind what they're saying, and take on board that, those points and learn from it. And I think that will also come across in any job, if to any employee, if they see that, okay, you've made a mistake, but you've got up, you've learned from it, and you've moved on. That's also a fantastic trait, fantastic thing to have.
Going to somebody that Dan Evans said, I was thinking about, I read an interview yesterday with Paul Smith, the fashion designer, and there was a strange question to him. They said, have you ever been depressed? And he said, no. Now he's 64, and he's never ever been depressed. And I think that's what you were just saying. Some people have this, whatever you say to them, they'll come back and treat it positively, which he obviously is how he's got to where he is. I think it's really important.
It's amazing to see those people. You really want to work with them, because when things are stressful and things are going really, you're really against it, those people will be like, that's great, let's do it. We can, we'll stay tonight, but that's great, because we can have something in to eat and it'll be really fun. And you're like, oh, all right, yeah, let's have it's not work now, it's a sleepover. And it's like, and you just that's eagerness, and that kind of, we like to work with eager people, because it reminds us how amazing our jobs are, because we all do these jobs every day, and you get used to it, it becomes really normal. And you start stressing about things, and then all it takes is for someone to come in who's so excited and wants to be in your position, is so sort of wow, that you suddenly think, God, it's like I work in an ice cream factory, it's so exciting. And you sort of like, it makes you want to do your job again. It reminds you why you came into that industry. So you're like, that person loves my job, I love it even more, you can't have it. Whereas if they're grumpy and kind of, you're just like, well, why are you bothering, why am I bothering, everyone, and you walk away. So that's to say, just when you go in, just have that so passionate and happy and positive. And as long as it's genuine, don't do it fake and smile. If you're not into it, then don't. That's really creepy. But if you are genuinely want to work in these companies, you genuinely are passionate about those things, then it's not hard just to, don't be frightened to show that you really love what you do, because then they will remind themselves why they love what they do, and then it's a big loving.
I think what you're sort of battling for all the time as well is thinking time. You know, we're also overloaded with information now, daily, hourly, blogs and whatnot, that you have to find some places in your time, in your day, to think of new ideas and new ways around a problem or new type fonts or something, and you probably won't do that in a busy environment all the time. It might be difficult. So you have to, whether it's going for a coffee or, you know, first thing in the morning or work, you know, just find some time. That's very hard to find, that time, that thinking time about you. And if you've got a job on and you going back the next day think, well, that wasn't the best thing I could have done. Try and work out, you know, what could be the best way for you. And bring it in, you know, come in with a, say that, you know that stuff we worked on yesterday, I've actually got another idea about it. And whether that's accepted or not, whether the job's gone through, it's worth, you know, you have to find that space wherever it is, thinking time to work on your own things, really, and not just go through the motions of churning out lots of stuff. You have to be an editor of your own work in some way.
Yeah, I think reflection is really important.
How you get that is up to you. Could be walking around a gallery or something.
Just to add a bit more to that question, I think the fact that we're talking today what is notionally called professional practice, and the fact that we're mentioning jobs and careers, for me that means absolutely nothing. The important thing for me, it's a way of life. That's what it's about. You don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and think, oh, I'm going to go and work in a bank today, you know, I'm going to go and do this. It's not like that at all. You're on call 24 hours a day. You're looking at stuff 24 hours a day. You know, it's there. It's a way of life for me. You don't just switch on and switch off at 9 till 5. It's not a 9 till 5 job. If that's what you want, go and do something else. That's not what it's about at all. It's about a way of life. You know, everything you come in contact with, everything you look at, everything you touch, everything you're aware of, these people here today, it's a way of life. It's not a 9 till 5 activity. So don't, if that's what you want to do, get your degree and go and do something else. But today, it's about a way of life. That's what it's about, really. And all the sort of comments that are coming here, the passion that's coming from here, is coming from a way of life. That's what we do. You know, when I'm chatting to Clive on a Sunday night about something, it's because we're interested in what we do. It's a way of life. Next question. Sorry, did I stop now?
I say, yeah, it's not. When I was at uni, the one thing is like John was saying, oh, it's not, you know, it's a 24-hour sort of thing. And I was thinking, a 24-hour job, it's actually not a job. Like, if you're into it, the 9 till 5 thing, I don't work 9 till 5. I don't know when the ideas are going to come. I don't know when I'm going to have an inspiration. But it doesn't ever feel like I'm working 24 hours. I'm doing the things I love 24 hours. So actually, when I was at uni, it really scared me when it's like, oh, it's a 24. I don't do 24. I'm quite lazy. But then I realised actually it's doing what I do 24. And there's my passion for all these different things is my job. It's just not called that. And so I think it's sort of not a big thing to worry about when people say it's a 24-hour thing. It's just doing what you enjoy doing and someone pays you.
Yeah. I was going to say, when somebody pays you, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I think if you love what you do, time will fly anyway, and gives you more, extra time to kind of think about other things and just really explore possibilities.
Can I take the next question? Yep, at the back there.
What should we include in our portfolios?
What should we include in the portfolio? I think everyone would have something to say with that. Would you like to stay with that one, James?
Yeah.
And go around?
I think for myself, it's a strong body of work and not absolute reams and reams of work. I don't know, I've heard lots of different stories on what makes a really good portfolio. I've heard from art directors who say they only like to see 12 to 20 kind of key pieces. I think you need to keep it clean as well, so make whatever you're putting in there a real focal point, keep it simplistic, and just make sure that it draws your eye to it. It's also good to invest in a really good quality portfolio, so something that's going to stand out from the norm, a good quality leather or aluminium portfolio. I don't know what other people think about that, but something that tells the person that you're going to see that you're serious about it.